Gone are the days when you had me bound, shackled in chains, gripped with fear. No longer silent, for my voice I have found. Time to end injustice, hope I've made myself clear. I work twice as hard, yet promotion goes to another. All my efforts you disregard. Is it because of my skin color? A job well done. You reward me with more work, while to your name my credit be. Then in disdain you wear a smirk, thinking you played a trick on me. You point me to the laws that govern the land, but due to evil twisted words, my complaints, they never get heard. A strategic plan aimed at destroying the black man. Yet despite deceptive tactics, I remain undeterred. Your subtle approach cracks harder than a whip. It charms, it smiles like a venomous snake. But no time for self-pity, keep a stiff upper lip. In the face of adversity, my inner strength will awake. Your sarcastic tone is so belittling and demeaning, delighting in my failure like an eagle, hunting its prey. But your ignorant derisions on my life will have no meaning. Like chaff on a threshing floor, there'll be one day be blown away. So try hard as you can, but you'll never get me down. No system, no structure, not even your best game plan. Try hard as you can, but you'll never keep me down. This race I must complete, one my forefathers began. Like Martin Luther King Jr., I too have a dream that a system plagued with injustice will be transformed into justice. Like Maya Angelou, I too shall rise, and though you trod me into the ground, like the dust, I shall rise. Like Barack Obama, oh yes I can. And like Rosa Parks, I shall not be moved. And so I continue to fight for my right. Though dark be the night, there is still hope in sight. Though long and tiring the journey may seem, I know one fine day a change there must be. So fight, fight, fight.
My name is Eva Henna-Jaber, and this is my poem, Only Human. We say we're only human, and that's why we make mistakes. But if we're all only human, then why discriminate? Differences are gifts that we need to learn to embrace. Worth and importance is not defined by gender, culture, or race. There is no unique trait that should be looked down upon, other than being discriminatory to make people think they don't belong. You are valued as a human, and no one can take that away. You are valued as an individual, regardless of what other people say. You are valued as a peer. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. You are valued as a friend, because you truly belong. Classy no matter your class, and beautiful no matter your color. Strong no matter your disability, and accepted no matter your culture. Deserving of love no matter who you love, and equal no matter your gender. Understood no matter your language, acceptance is beauty and splendor. There are not enough words to describe your worth. You are so much more than the traits you were given at birth. People see the bigger picture when they learn to see beyond the surface. They see an incredible human being with lots of potential and purpose. We can help create a place where we appreciate differences and stand united. These characteristics help make us who we are. They shouldn't be why we're divided. We all have our own stories and perspectives on life too. That doesn't mean there can't be a friendship between me and you. We'll realize we're all human when we finally see eye to eye. There are no requirements for this status. We all qualify. We all live as humans on a world like no other. For the welfare of everyone, we need to appreciate each other. People who are insecure in themselves may try to make you feel rejected, but never doubt the fact that you are loved and accepted. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Biodun Abudu. I'm an author, artist, and boutique owner. Today I will be reading from my poetry book, my latest one, my fourth book actually, called Open Letters from Within. Open Letters from Within is a poetry book that talks about love, pain, and recovery. So today I'll be reading a piece that I call I Write under the recovery and love section of the book. It goes, when I'm at war with myself, I just write. True freedom for me comes through writing, allowing me to remove thoughts of suicide and heartbreak, releasing the pain that hides behind a smile. It's a moment where I take a deep breath, opening my eyes with tears of joy rolling down, assuring me it's the beginning stage to overcome the pain. I'm no longer giving my last speech on a cliff about to jump, taking slow steps into the deep ocean of tradition, becoming the voice for those who have been silenced by fear. I'm no longer being strangled behind closed doors, saying goodbye to pain, dark secrets, abominations, and insecurities, welcoming daydreams, fantasies, and love, bathing in my flaws, my known and unknown sins. Again, that was I Write from my book, Open Letters from Within. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Child of Adam and Eve, return to the Garden of Eden. Rise on your feet and look above your kingdom. Walk through the desert and through the evil forests. Swim through the rivers that uncovers the hidden truth. That's where the waters that wash the backs of our ancestors exist. Take along your queen and your children. Keep your head up high. Allow your queen to also lead and advise you, as knowledge knows no sex. Listen to the future that looks up at you, as wisdom knows no age. As you continue to make your way back, do not look behind you. Child of Adam and Eve, return to the Garden of Eden.
Hello, my name is Justin White, and my poem today is inspired by Dr. Beverly Tatum's book, Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria? This is personal for me. See, I too was a Black kid that sat at the table with the other Black kids. As stereotypes were attacking, we sat reciting lines from our favorite rapping while faculty members walked around us. And those who were cool teachers would check in on us, while the ones that weren't cool were beckoning us to be quiet. But our laughter caused riots of a different kind, a chance to be outside of the confined lines of acceptable behavior in that cafeteria. We added the flavor. Not knowing the whole time that we were asking the question of what does it mean to be Black? And compared to today, we didn't have to deal with all the crap. See, we were shaped by towers falling. Today, kids are shaped by on-camera calling out for a gun not to be fired by those in Black and blue, a knee on the neck as a nation's view, launching young people from an identity of diffusion while others hear Black Lives Matter and respond with confusion, or worse yet, hate. See, we sat at that lunch table and talked about prom dates, and I know you do too. But you scroll through IG and wonder if the next dead Black kid will be you. And 10 years later, my desk was in that space, the place you came to see your life reflected in another face. And I'd close my laptop and sit back as we discussed Marvel movies, dress code, and common apps. Lunchtime and in between classes, y'all would come up and dap me up, or just sit at the conference room table, quiet, when life really sucked. All those moments, I wish I had more of them, because I saw it in your eyes, the movement from moratorium to y'all achieving empowerment and pride, hugging each other on retreats as we cried. Because this life is hard, keeping it all together when you just want to fall apart. Teachers get your names wrong, over discipline you, and always suggest testing. And your white peers say the N word and then tell you to stop stressing. Your trauma can go unseen and misunderstood. So you talk about cars and what kind of engine you put on the hood, because despite all the crap, you have a clear-eyed view. Put that thing in drive and look at the nonsense in the rear view. But I'm sorry to say, it will follow you to dorm rooms, computer labs, and your professor's lectures, just to name a few. And you will question the perception you have of yourself, racial messaging that will either strengthen or harm your mental health. When this happens, please remember what you do. Find community, make many out of a few. Listen, I wish I could stop every microaggression, and Dr. Kendi actually calls it abuse, but I can't. But here's what I'll do for you. I promise, as an educator and a counselor, I'll work for you. I'll confront my bias and help others do the same. I will call out the educational system when it's too focused on maintaining financial gain. I will learn to speak Spanish, which is something long overdue, because the injustices in the Black community, Latinx folks face them too. To my young women of color dying of alarming rates every day, she's difficult will be words never again will I say. And to my transgendered, queer, and non-binary folks, there's so much I need to learn. One thing I know for sure, no institutional church or state should your dignity need to be earned. So in closing, we all need to know that the road has and will be tough, but with our commitment and the ancestors' hope, I believe it will be enough. Thank you.
This is The American Dream by Aria Jolie.
I don't need the American dream. I don't need to feel supreme. I just don't want to feel like I'm gonna scream. I don't want to feel like a disgrace, like I don't belong in this place that I call my space to feel safe, and yet I don't feel safe. If I look different, I'm insignificant. There's no promise to safety, or at least that's what it feels like lately. It's not fair. Oh wait, I forgot. You don't care. You're unaware of the situation I call my life. I'm not white, but that doesn't mean I'll start a gunfight. I'm not white, but that doesn't mean you have to have fright. I have to have thick skin, because if not, you win. Have to take it on the chin, kick in the shins. Don't listen to that clown. Straighten your crown. I'm brown, so I get a beat down. Gonna have a breakdown. The orange man banned Afghanistan. So where does that leave me? Leaves me as a deportee. So tell me, when will I be free to be me? Be an Afghani in this country? Again, that was The American Dream by Aria, Jolie.
Good evening. This poem is called Resilience. Why get up? I could say get up because there is a generation depending on it. But who can think of the generation when their vision is so muddled by hatred on a day-to-day? I could say get up for yourself, but what if self has lost its way? I could say get up for the sake of the sacrifices that were made for you. But you might feel so disconnected that the sacrifices are a memory and you no longer feel motivated but helpless and confused. So I'll just say you woke up, and that is resilience in the smallest yet biggest form. You woke up despite feeling burnout, defeated, and torn. Let me remind you, you open your eyes and that your heart is still beating, and it beats to a rhythm not even hatred can seem to mislead. And I'll tell you, since you open your eyes, go ahead and count it as a victory. Let's pray tomorrow that tomorrow you get out of bed, and then from the bed I pray your feet touch the ground. And when they do, I pray they take off so quickly that only the resilient can hear the sound of you chasing your dreams, your purpose. I pray that you acknowledge your resilience in all ways. Resilient is your fight, and your fight is you choosing to live despite. Your fight is you choosing to wake up despite. Your fight is you choosing to love despite. Your fight is you choosing to tell your story despite. Your fight is a process, so I urge you take the first step and recognize all of your wins. I want you to smile like the greats before us. Claim victory now. Do not wait until the end.
Hello, my name is Clarke Williams, and today I will be submitting a poem called Trust the Process. Healing, for one, is not linear or cyclical or tied with a bow. At times, you won't know if it's even there. It's doing your hair after letting it mat, and finally forcing plaque off your teeth. It's helping your mom hang the Christmas wreath, or getting lost in a book for the first time in years. Healing, for two, quite feels like a crew, or finding your person at camp. It's sharing the parts in a soul song that reminds you of home. It's sitting in silence and letting conversation roam for miles down aisles, marked childhood and trauma and hobbies galore. It's are you okay with an honest answer and confirmation you truly exist. Healing for more is sure to impact, even lacking phones and homes and such. Can be a bit much, until a glance turned wave, turned heart to heart, makes crazy community, and normal a phallus. This unit, our palace, for better or worse, they've lifted the curse of false anomaly. With small victories won, we take first steps in healing for one. Thank you.
In this time when we've all experienced such tremendous heartbreak, both individually and collectively, I've been finding a lot of comfort in this poem by Jan Richardson, A Blessing for the Brokenhearted. and it begins with a quote from Henry David Thoreau. "There is no remedy for love but to love more." Let us agree for now that we will not say the breaking makes us stronger, or that it is better to have this pain than to have done without this love. Let us promise we will not tell ourselves time will heal the wound when every day our waking opens it anew. Perhaps for now it can be enough to simply marvel at how a heart so broken can go on beating, as if it were made for precisely this, as if it knows the only cure for love is more of it, as if it sees the heart's whole remedy for breaking is to love still, as if it trusts that its own persistent pulse is the rhythm of a blessing we cannot begin to fathom, but will save us nonetheless.
How old were you when you realized that black was your favorite color because it was the absence of color, or so you were taught in elementary school, even though it was right there in the Crayola crayon box? How old were you when you realized that black was your favorite color because it was the absence of color, or so you were taught in elementary school, even though it was right there, plain as day, in the Crayola box? How old were you when your teacher started teaching you not to see it? You made a habit of seeing things that other people would pretend not seeing, like crayons and people and dreams. All the things you really wanted to believe in, like the absence of color and people. How old were you when you fell in love with Star Trek, when you realized that the only people who could see the future in color besides you were in a spaceship on TV? How old were you when you learned that 2 pieces of wood can make a fire and a cross on your front lawn at the same time? How old were you when they stopped calling you Michael? How old were you when they stopped calling you names? How come we're never old enough? How come it never stops? How did 14 feel? Did 14 feel like 49 or 0? When the bus driver made you give up your seat, did it feel like prodigy or payback when you went to college at 15 so they'd stop calling you boy? How old were you when you realized that you wanted to be Gandhi instead of governor, when all your peers still wanted to be policemen and you wanted to be a preacher? How many people can say they had a president phone them in prison? How big was that opening number at the premiere of Gone with the Wind? How bad did you want to sing it? And how old were you when you did? How much more fun is that than being shot at? And how come I love musicals too? How come adrenaline is adrenaline? We do what we gotta do. How old were you when pecan pie became your favorite meal, when the ideal breakfast menu consisted of cake and eat it too? How old were you when you decided starving was the best way to get your point across? When you decided sitting down at a lunch counter and not eating was the best way to stand up for yourself? How old were you when you started crying for no reason? How old were you when you discovered that the monster under your bed was really the FBI under your phone, when the breathing was real and the voices were yours? How old were you when you tried to stop the voices? How old were you when you saw the elephant and realized your country apartheided out the room? What age were you when your love became a four-letter word and your skin a profanity that was impossible to clean? How old were you when they told you that you were too old for imaginary friends, especially when you imagined having friends a different color than green? How old were you when they decided you were old enough? And how old were they when they decided that you were too young to leave? How old were you when they told you, wake up, stop dreaming, and even after you stop breathing, we can still see it, no matter how old we get. Burque Noir. Shout out to the 505, Albuquerque, New Mexico represent. They asking me if Hakim is my Muslim. Yep, and my government. Spit game like king, and X marks my love for this. Willing to die for everything I write. They call me H-Rap, down for the civil rights. And sure, I want to stay flyer than bait, fish, and tackle, but I don't want to die just to buy platinum shackles. But if I had a dream, they'd be bumping me at a sit-in, pumping fists like volumes to crack the glass ceiling, crack the glass pipes and buy ones and pack peace in them, making music for the women, Jesus and his little children. Put this in your hymnal on page 505. Stand up and clap your hands and move from side to side, cause we gonna overcome all that hate and crime and show y'all new Negroes how these spirituals can rhyme. This is how we march so we don't wade through the madness. People drive by with this to prevent April showers instead of spraying up your block. Get that Afro wood stock, build a stage, put us on it, get your fire hose cocked, cause we red hot like Detroit with the conch. Ain't nothing civil about this rap, I swear to Jah, and cross my ankh and hope to die for revolutionary art. We were Dr. King imagine when he dreamt of hip hop. We hope to die for revolutionary art. We're what Dr. King imagined when he dreamt of hip hop.
We do have one more submission that unfortunately we couldn't get the audio for or video, so I am going to go ahead and read for this person in her stead. But this is a poem by Vivkie M. Oliver-Lawson, and the title of this poem is Remembering Dr. King. Dr. King was an honorable man who walked in peace along this land. A man of the cloth he trained to be, and spoke out loudly against inequality. He wanted everyone to be treated right, and this became Dr. King's last fight. He studied nonviolence, one of Gandhi's teachings, and became an advocate, and that's what he was preaching. He saw injustices and set his sights on trying to help everyone achieve equal rights. Labor, voting, and desegregation were the topics he fought for all across the nation. He helped to organize and raised a fuss about where Black people could sit when they got on a bus. He led a march on Washington in 1963 to make life better for you and for me. An assassin's bullet is what took his life, as he left behind 4 children and his wife. But Dr. King's dream will continue to live, as each year new breath to it we give. We must continue to press on to make the dream real, as we help our nation and our people to heal. Again, that was a poem written by Vivkie M. Oliver-Lawson, Remembering Dr. King. Again, thank you everyone who submitted. Incredible, incredible body of work.